o'clock now, na? त्याकडे आला होता खरं ते.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for taking the time out to be here today. We're going to begin our session. I'd request all of you to keep your mic on mute. If you'd like to keep your camera on, that'll be fine. But just keep your mic on mute so as not to disturb the people who are going to be speaking and educating us today. There are enough opportunities for questions, so we'll let you all know the program. So, all right. Thank you. Let's begin. So, why are we all here today? Right? We are here to learn, right? We are here to learn about something new, something that interests us, or something that we are passionate about. And that is basically the essence of Enlightened Sapiens. We are a community that encourages you to constantly grow, constantly learn, right? Constantly grow and learn about the things that we love, things that we are passionate about, things that make us happy. So I'm here today to sort of give back with this knowledge, make it easier for. So in the last to share my experience of birding during the lockdown. So in the last 60 days, 70 days, one sound dominated all other sounds, and that's the sound of the birds. Right? We noticed with the sound, with the noise of the cars reducing and the air pollution reducing, we could see birds all around us in our own homes. As an amateur birder, that prompted me to get my camera out and my binoculars out and sort of catalog these beautiful birds all around us. The roles were reversed. We were caged in our own homes and the birds were set free. So I got my camera out, and in a matter of few weeks, I ended up spotting about 30 species of birds from my own home. And I'm talking about golden orioles and spot-breasted fan-tailed flycatchers from Mumbai in Dadar, which is funny. Hence, I thought of creating this session today. And for that, we have Rushabh Zaveri. He's a fellow birder, photographer, and wildlife enthusiast to help us today. And of course, we have Vidya Kulkarni ji, who has graced us with her presence to help us through this, to make us understand and appreciate the beauty of birds. Vidya ji is the perfect example that age should never be a barrier to pursue your passion. Starting in 2013 with photography, in a matter of few years, she's become one of the top authorities of birding in the country. With numerous awards, including National Geographic FB, Wild Bird Trust, Photographer of the World, Camarinas, and felicitations from many other authorities and bodies. She is humble enough to want to honor her mentors, without which she doesn't believe that she could be so deep into her birding career. She's constantly learning, and so yes, some of her mentors who I think are present even here today. So she's constantly learning, and in 2018, with the help of her friend of 50 years, there's sound. Let's okay, thank you. So with the help of a friend of over 50 years, Shobha Karnikji, she started writing on birds, and so she's gone from amateur birder to an ornithologist. So everyone, we have a really interactive session today. We want this to be fun. I'm going to stop speaking soon and get right to the session. So do ask questions. There's a lot of place for questions. You all may be from all parts of the country, but remember, everything that you see today has been shot by Vidya ji herself. All of these are city birds. And yes, so let's begin. And over to you, Rishabh.
Thank you, Karan. I'm super excited, like all of you, to be part of one of the first episodes on birding by Enlightened Sapiens. And what better way to begin it with, having our senior most birder, Vidya Kulkarni ji from our community. Um, so yeah, where she's just going to open up a window to an encyclopedia of fascinating birds out there we are sharing this earth with. A lot of us have a question, why do we do birding? And other than being awestruck by their beauty and behavior, it is a natural way to connect with environment and to understand the nature and our habitat by just watching birds. And you don't really need expensive and long cameras or gadgets, to start bird watching. It just starts with, tuning your eyes for the movement and your ears for the direction of sound. And I just don't want to, waste a lot of your time. And let's jump into a journey where Vidyaji will take us through the fascinating, beauty of birds. Handing over to Vidyaji here.
Thank you, Karan and Rishabhji, for giving me this honor. And I'm also excited to really showcase whatever I have experienced with all the people around me. And thank you everyone for joining this session. I hope you would enjoy this. I'm really a bit excited to really go through this. Let's see how it goes. So let's begin. People always ask me, where do you find birds? Of course, during this lockdown period, I did also get a lot of birds near my house at Dadar. As Karanji said, there are places, but there are places where you are sure to get lots of birds, and there are lots of such places in Mumbai itself. I had been to lot of places in India also. So I'm just giving you as a guidance the list of the places in Mumbai and in India for anyone to pursue the passion. Okay, now what is the broad category of the birds? See, there are some birds, we always call them as passerines, because they are normally perched on the trees, on a branch of a tree, because they have 3 toes on the front side and 1 toe on the back side, so they can good grip on the branch. So we call them as passerine birds. Normally they forage on the tree or they forage on the ground also. Then there are something called as the waders. They feed in water. And if you see the board over here, like I have given the range of the size of these birds. So passerine bird is smallest is 7.5 centimeter. So you can just imagine. That's why when you just come out, unless you try to tune to this birding, you will not notice such small birds. So once you take this as a passion, you will start noticing the birds around you. Same thing happened to me. I have been in Hindu colony for the last 50 years, but when I took up birding, I started noticing the birds around me. And there are raptors. What do? They first observe from a height, then they will go and catch the prey, they will take it, they will kill it properly, they will take it again back on the tree, and then they will eat it. So that is called as the raptors, and we are always scared of the raptors. In Mumbai also there are lots of raptors. Sarus crane is the tallest flying bird, and Sarus crane, it's again a very beautiful bird. Okay, I'm just giving you morphology of a bird just because if someone wants to really study the birding in details, these are the various parts of the bird you can describe with. Okay, now this snow white bird. There is a image into image, and during breeding season, they develop long ornamental nuptial plumes and almost looks like a wedding gown. They can easily bend their neck in the S shape because their sixth vertebra is very long. You must have seen these birds all around Mumbai, all around the water places, you will find these birds. They are very white and they are very elegant. So this is my expression. When I first click this bird, I have given into a poetic language my expression looking at this little egret. I have given the biometrics also in every slide. So for you people to get the idea of the size of the bird. But I have every slide, I'm giving a portrait of the bird for you people to really appreciate the beauty of the birds, appreciate the colors of the birds, and the kind of satisfaction I get in birding. I want you also to enjoy looking at these birds. Can we hear this bird? Oh, colorful bird. This is the angelic bird, the orange-headed thrush. It's a very shapely, striking bird. They are bashful and secretive, keep hopping in pair, or enjoy gliding solitarily over the skies. But this tiny bundle of joy, when airborne, also emits a very beautiful voice. But if they sight predators somewhere, they will get threatened and they will return to the perch and they'll be absolutely motionless. So you won't be able to see them really because they'll be hiding. Actually, I clicked this bird in Sanjay Gandhi National Park. These beautiful birds, you do visit Sanjay Gandhi, it's really full of birders. Can we hear the sound? The sound which you hear of this bird call, I have taken special efforts in acquiring from the net and embedding into my this thing. So I want to give you a full kind of experience of a bird, the beauty of the bird, the colors of the bird, and the sound of the bird. Now let's go to the Alexandrine parakeet. Have you noticed the color below the wings? See how beautiful it is. One thing I would like to mention, whenever any of these birds are in breeding plumage, their colors literally start strikingly bright. And mainly the male birds always have a bright plumage. So this is Alexandrine parakeet. I have clicked it in my own lane in Hindu colony. And this striking bird, it has a long tail, a red beak, red patch on the shoulder, black and red ring around the neck. This bird is named after Alexander the Great, who transported numerous birds from Punjab to various European and Mediterranean countries and regions, where they were prized by royalty, nobility, and warlords. In captivity, These birds can imitate human speech. They are very loyal, playful, and talkative. They can learn tricks and they are inclined to show off their acrobat skills. You can get plenty of these birds in Mumbai, around Dadar area, around Malabar Hill area, but they are very beautiful. Let's hear the bird. काय ग त्याला? Hmm.
It's fine. I think the hosts, I'll just.
Okay, now rose-ringed parakeet, I think I don't have to say much about this bird. These birds are everywhere, all over the places, because they are quite tuned to the uh, urban life with lot of human beings around. They are not scared. Actually, I'm trying to give, see, I cannot really give the entire information of the bird. It might be a bit boring, but I'm just giving you the peculiarities of this bird. Now, this has a red beak and ring around the neck. Now, some speciality of this bird is female takes lead in courtship. In other normally species, bird species, it's the male who keeps running after the female. But here the female takes this thing. She turns her eyes towards male. She glances dreamily at her mate and breaks into a bird song, flapping the wings. She then strokes her head against his, and they both caress each other with their beaks. And then they both sing to each other very longingly. This is how, and this is something which you would really enjoy looking at it. You must have noticed male and female together on a perch many times. If you are not, now look out. Whenever you are out, you can always look for such birds and a pair of these birds. Oh, Indian roller, such a romantic bird, I'll tell you. Stunningly alluring bird. There are some beliefs about this bird. See, the beauty, anyway, you are seeing the beauty of this color, especially in flight mode. See the color straps of this blue, which is making it looking so beautiful. But there are some beliefs about this bird. There is some mythological connection about this bird. See, sighting the roller on Dasara day, they say it absolves the sins. Legend always says that spotting this bird, and if you have a wish in your mind, the bird will convey it to Lord Mahadeva in Kailas. Now, if you get an unexpected glance of this bird, then it will really make your luck still better. So, see how the mythological connections or beliefs about these birds. And this is also very, very musical note it gives. Let's hear the bird. Now, let's go for the grey hornbill. It's a big bird. It's a big bird. But we still can see it in Dadar because Dadar also has a good green coverage, very tall and big trees because they thrive in banyan and peepal trees and living off their fruits. Given their size and wing size, the moment they take a flight, you can really, it makes lot of noise and it calls for the attention. By eating fruits and dispersing seeds through the dropping and regurgitation, hornbills aid in regeneration of all these mature forest trees. And that's why they have earned the name that these are feathered foresters. I'll tell you one small story about this bird. I had gone to Uruli Kanchan with my friend and we were just roaming around. It was a wood kind of a region. And suddenly we both were so scared because we were hearing the call of this bird and After hearing the call, when we looked up, we saw the pair of these birds. So if you really hear this bird, it's very scary. Let's hear it. One of my favorite bird. Do you notice the color change? So the portrait image is of a breeding male, and non-breeding pair is image within the image. Something very special about this bird. Why it's called as a weaver? Because male weaver bird construct their intricate nest during mating season, hanging over the water body, with the help of its conical beak, which is very strong, and the feet to attract the prospective mate. The nests are woven with long strips of paddy leaves, rough grasses, and long strips of torn from palm fronds. And the male makes 500 trips to make one nest, to complete one nest. See the energy these birds have, these small little birds also have so much of energy. By tying the knots, the bird makes the nest very secure because it is hanging on a tree, hanging on a branch. Once the female, but funny part is once the female lays eggs, male will go around and looking for another mate. So this is something really peculiar about this bird. And in India, it is believed, in case, actually, the fact is the Baya weaver sticks fireflies in the interior of the nest to provide light in the night. See how thoughtful these birds are, because it's a conical shape. So for chicks to get a proper, they shouldn't get scared. So they provide the fire sticks. And suppose it's going to be a drought season, these birds will throw away their eggs because they don't want chicks to die of hunger. See how thoughtful these birds are. Let's hear the bird. Okay, this is also one of my favorite birds. Can you see the way this frisky fantail raises its tail and the feathers are spread over, so it looks like a fan, actually Japanese fan. Bird is never still, and the speed with which it flies from one branch to another can leave any photographer or bird watcher gasping for breath. It's not easy to really photograph this bird, click this bird, because it keeps literally moving from one branch to another, and tries to show all the skills and all the beauty of this bird. So it often raises its tail feathers, breaks into a dance, showcasing its fancy tail. So actually this bird is available in Mumbai, all around the places. Please look for this bird and you will be, I'm sure you will get this bird.
Okay, we've kept this open for some questions before we move on to the next set of birds Vidyaji is beautifully clicked for us. So yes, if, there are some questions that a lot of you had asked on the chat. I'm going to go through them. Yes, you all have raised some. Many of you all have raised your hands. Brunal Maya, if you can unmute yourself and you can speak. Okay. All right, Vidyaji, there was a question from Pankaj Bajpai. He asked, how is the little egret different from the intermediate egret?
Okay, see, there are three types of egrets. Great egret, intermediate egret, and the small egret. The image which I had showcased in the PPT is a small egret, and the basic difference is in the size of the bird, okay, length of the bird, and the color of the jaws, claws, and the color of the beak. So that is something, even the legs are different in color, but these birds, again, in breeding plumage, the colors change. So it's not that easy to identify the bird. But there are Facebooks, you can just upload your picture, upload your image, and there are lots of experts on that Facebook, and it's called as Ask ID of Indian Birds. And you will immediately come to know the bird which you have picked.
All right. Thank you. Runal Maya had a question. He had raised his hand as well. His question is, how can we start bird photography as a beginner?
Okay, actually, as a beginner, the way I started, if you are serious about the photography, yes, you must attend some theoretical course about the DSLR camera. Because if you are going out with the DSLR camera, see, to click any landscape, it's okay. A small lens, you can just click it. Okay. But for birding, unless you really a bit study about the birding and the movements of the birds and how to sort of tune your eyes for the birding is a bit it's a question of a practice. You have to keep, it's like swimming. Unless you go in water, you cannot swim. So have a small theoretical course of DSLR camera, and then you start going. It will automatically come. It is not a rocket science which you cannot study, I'll tell you, or which you cannot adopt.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. There are some. That's the whole point of this course, is to sort of get you first inspired to appreciate the beauty of these birds, so that you can see with your naked eyes and your ears, and then, like Vidya ma'am said, you can sort of get into it with photography. So there's another question by Ankur Karanchkar. His question is very simple: is Vidyaji, how do you go near the birds, so close to the birds?
Actually, you're not supposed to go very near to the bird. I share one experience. In Big One, we were trying to click the flamingos. Big One is very famous for the flamingos. We were flat on the ground and slowly we were moving a bit closer. The birds, it was a sort of a row of this thing, and they were quite away from us. Okay, so we thought they won't notice it, but we went bit with a speed, they all flew away. So actually, the bird's eyesight is much stronger than human beings. So you have to first hear the bird, be very careful, and go in the direction of the call. And you have to have a bigger lens to really click or shoot this portrait kind of a thing. I'll be sharing my gear which I really use for this birding, maybe a bit later on. But it's a good question. Thank you.
We're going to take one more question and then we'll move on. There will be other spots for questions. Vidyaji, there's a host of questions. Maybe we'll wait. But so one last question. Suppose we spot a unique bird, how can we find its name?
That's what I'm saying. Na? It's not easy. Of course,
Yes.
I'll be giving you the names of the books. Grimet is like an encyclopedia. You can really, it's like a really good reference book. I started with the Grimet, and then I purchased some other books also. But as I say, you upload on the Ask Bird ID and you will get it maybe within no time. But you have to become a member of that Facebook. Because I say there are 9,000 species all over the world, out of which there are 1,300 species in India. And even Mumbai has almost 190 species of the birds. So it's not easy, especially the small birds when they are away from you and there isn't enough light, they are hiding in a tree, then it's not that easy. So yes, but don't get discouraged. Start doing the birding, start clicking the birds, and you will automatically come to know how to find the path and get the bird ID. Of course, I'm open to you all people. I have almost a treasure of 500 birds. So you can always ask me and I will help you if I know the name of the bird. Thank you so much.
Sorry, there's a lot of questions. I'm going to accumulate them. We'll move on to the presentation and we'll keep all the questions.
Oh, such a charming bird. This golden oriole, as the name goes, it glitters like gold. But the image within the image, you will find the breeding plumage is still deeper gold color. It's like a 24 karat gold. Okay. Now, it is not that easy to spot this bird. Of course, the small bird hides into the trees, but the call, its chirpy nature and the call of this bird is a head turner. Then you have to move slowly towards that tree where it is perched and then click it. So, and the voice of it is very melodious. You just hear it.
Mute unmute na.
Okay, my favorite bird. And I share my story. To click this bird, I had to literally go in the rains with a raincoat on, with my gear on, and I had to really climb for 1 hour to click this beauty. But it was worth the efforts, because if you see the beauty of these birds with a uh, pink head, pink tail, pink beak, and such a colorful plumage on the back. And on the downside, it is yellow. So it's really beautifully colored, brightly colored, exquisite colored bird. And it has a long beak, and its favorite food is called as a skink. And when I had gone to that place, there was a nest of this bird, and it was carrying, this male will carry this skink, give it to the chicks, come back again. Again, after 10 minutes, it will come. He will eat it. He will share it with his mate. And again, after 10 minutes, he will go and bring this for the chicks. So they take care of the chicks so much, I'll tell you. I was really impressed. See the weight of that skink is quite heavy, but still they take all the efforts and help the chicks. You can get this bird even in the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Okay, now lovely purple sunbird. I think someone has sent us a image of sunbird also. I'll share with I'll comment on that later on. Okay, this is again a strikingly colored bird. It has a metallic kind of colors, and of course, breeding plumage is always more gorgeous, and the underparts also become metallic colored during the breeding plumage. The female is also very cute, very sweet, but of course the colors are totally different. And this favorite perch is a powder puff. If you can grow powder puff tree on in your nearby your house, you will start attracting these sunbirds. And their favorite food is the nectar from this powder puff flowers. So you will always find them actually nectaring in the flowers. Again, a very tiny bird, very chirpy bird. Let's hear the bird. So this is a dark, handsome, Janus deceitful-faced bird. Literally, it works like a kotwal. Why I like this bird is, this bird takes care of other bird species around it. Okay. So those birds can really live peacefully in their nest. And when they have the nest over there, and their uh, chicks are there or their eggs are there, this drongo, it drives away, chases away all the ferocious raptor birds so that these birds can take care of their chicks properly. Huh? So orioles, pigeons, babblers, especially bulbuls, they tend to build their nest near the that of drongos. So how careful that bird is, how concern he has, this bird has for other birds. So that's why it's my favorite bird. And of course, it's like a musician. You can hear the bird. Oh, male and female. I think everyone knows this bird. All over the places you will find it, but it's not easy to locate it because it will be normally on the dense tall trees. And I had to really take efforts to click this, but I have clicked it both the birds in my own compound. Okay. Now it's a brood parasite. It lays its eggs in other nest, either of the crows, and the host will raise them young. But female quail have the ability to contain the eggs inside the body to delay coming out of the chicks. Because they are a brood parasite, she will find the uh, appropriate occasion to really lay her eggs. See how concerned they are about their chicks and eggs and all that. And during summer, you can hear male singing. And basically, it's the male who sings. The kuhu kuhu, there are so many songs with this thing kuhu kuhu, but it's not the female, it's the male who sings and tries to attract the female. And see, female, it's a total different plumage, and the male is totally different plumage. This could be a bit bluish black, and this is brownish with the freckles. One thing I'll share about this, great poet Kalidasa wrote a small poem on this bird in his epic poem Meghadut. So it's been famous since then. Okay, let's go further. Oh, this is called as a Swargiya Nartak. It has such a long tail, such a beautiful tail, very glowing white color, snow white color, with a black, blue head, nice crest, and female. You can see, though doesn't have a very long tail, it has a rufous color. So both look equally beautiful. And it's not easy to click this bird because it keeps fluttering its a tail all around and keeps moving all around. And to accommodate bird and along with the tail is not easy task. You have to keep on adjusting your position or keep on adjusting the focal length of your camera. So, but I was lucky enough to click this bird in Ganesh Gudi, and I have at least 50 images of this bird, but they all look very sweet, I'll tell you. Very graceful, very good bird. Actually, I call this as a dawning a silvery hue that narrows down to form a long, graceful tail. The male of this species looks like a dainty mermaid. This is my expression after seeing this bird. But the voice call is not very, it's quite harsh. You can hear it now. Oh, this barbet. This is called as a Mumbai bird because there are lots of these birds in Mumbai. And if you want to sight this bird, please get up early in the morning and look at the top branch of a tall tree because this bird likes to do sunbathing early in the morning. So as the sun rises, you will find this bird over there. Okay. Now, why this bird is called as a barbet? Because it has Their mustaches like bristles found under their beaks has given them the name barbets. Okay. Now these birds are more heard than really seeing it because they are tiny birds, not easy. They are always perched on the tall tree. It's not so easy to really sight these birds. But you will hear this bird first. And that too, it is tuk tuk. And to my surprise, the amazing fact is that they do this tuk tuk 108 to 121 per minute. So see the energy they have, and that too in 204 different notes. So that's the peculiarity of this bird. Of course, it's very colorful, and and it consumes the food, which is 3 times its own weight. So that's why it has this energy to say this tuk tuk so many times. I think, and it normally they have their favorite. They are actually fruit lovers. All kinds of fruits these birds love. So I have lots of images, bird eating the fruits. So let's hear the bird. Oh, again, my favorite bird. This I have clicked it in actually Bhandup pumping station. See the gray plumage, it, it's easy to spot this bird. But of course, they keep on chirping and they keep on hopping from one branch to another. So all these birds, small birds, passerine birds, you have to have a patience to really click these birds. If you sight that bird somewhere, you have to be there for quite some time for that bird to come back again to that perch. But I managed to click these two images of this bird. Oh, typical of raptor bird. I think black kite, everyone must have seen, maybe whoever is there in our this thing today. This is typical of raptor bird. Female is always bigger in size, okay? This brown bird keeps floating in the sky with wings all over spread and looks very elegant, okay? But it frequents densely populated urban areas too. In Mumbai, if you want to go to, you can go to Malabar Hill or maybe Bandstand, and you can sight this bird immediately. The legs are yellow, the claws are black, and their angled wing and distinctive forked tail, it is easy to spot this bird. And yeah, they are the raptors, so they know how to catch their prey, kill it, and take it around and then eat it. They will take it to the tree, some branch, hidden branch, and then quietly they will eat that kill. I have seen it, and their nests are also on the tall tree. In Malabar Hill, Hanging Garden, you can see lots of those nests there. Let's hear the bird. Oh, sweetie bulbuls now, red-vented bulbuls. You can see the vent is red, so that's why the name red-vented bulbul. Now, bulbuls are also known for their melodious voice. During mating or breeding period, males sing to attract females, and that too in 200 different notes. See how much efforts male takes to finally attract the female. Now, as per Feng Shui, bulbul's nest found nearby your house, it will always enhance your good luck, and it gives stability, harmony, and good luck to your family. So that's the belief about this bird. And now it can be identified its short crest, giving the head a bit squarish appearance, and red vent. The body is dark brown with a scaly pattern, white, while the head is darker and black. The rump is white, but the vent is black, red. And the vocalization is also unique, and their vocalization is different for roosting, for begging, for greeting, or for flight. And alarm calls are very harsh. If they sight some predator, they will literally call out very harshly. Let's hear the bird. Oh, Oriental magpie bird. Actually, it's a crowning glory. When on ground, you raise it up in air and your song is worth recording. Now, this kind of a pose of a bird is not very easy. I was just lucky to click at that moment. The white tail, it has spread over, the feathers it has spread over like a fan. So it also is looking very graceful. The plumage could be this blue or a bit darker blue also is possible. And this is a national bird symbol of Bangladesh. They are also distinctive white and distinct long tail, and tail is normally held upright. This is very common bird in Mumbai, and you can get a lot of birds in Sanjay Gandhi National Park also. Let's hear the bird. Okay, this is stellar bird, my very favorite bird, because I get a lot of these birds in my own compound. They keep chirping all throughout the day. As the name suggests, it's a professional tailor. Because why we call it as a tailor? Because they have a beak like a sewing needle. The nest is so well engineered. It is engineered from the raw material like leaves and the fibers. First, they construct a funnel by stitching the edges of a broad leaf, and then they cushion it from inside. And, and they keep talking, saying tweet, tweet, tweet. For almost now, I share a very interesting story about this bird. Why I get fascinated by this bird, because sometime in the winter, few years ago, I used to notice actually 6 sparking lights on in front of my house on a small bush kind of a tree on a branch. And I was wondering from where these bright spots look really. And there used to be 6 bright spots. Finally, I took my camera in hand and went out and clicked the bird. And then it was a small family of male, female, and the small one chick sitting in close to each other. And they were accommodated in almost half the length of an overleaf tree. Let's see that image, Arusha. Yeah. The image, within image, you can see it's this I had clicked it in my own compound and towards evening time when the sky gets dark. And really, it's like my treasure really became very rich that day.
Okay. So thank you, Vidyaji. That was really, really useful, and it was captivating, honestly, seeing those beautiful birds. I'd asked many of you all to send images of your own. We were inundated with responses. Thank you all. We have only 1 hour, so we could only we picked only 2. So Rishabh, if you can go to the So if you can go, yeah. So these were 2 which we picked. These were random. We could not pick all of them. So yes, Sunil Bhavsar, if you're here, or Prachi Joik, if you're here, we can quickly speak about this in a few minutes, and Vidyaji can also comment on your pictures.
Sunil Bhavsar, it's a lovely image. Okay, it's called as the eclipse plumage. Post breeding, actually, this is a purple sunbird. I have shown you the image. It has a metallic colors. But post breeding, they take this called as an eclipse plumage, and most of the birds even they shed their feathers, so they start looking a bit dull. Maybe I think they get tired after during the breeding period, and so finally they sit quiet like this. The next, Prachi. Hi, Prachi.
I
Hi, hi. Actually, this is also my favorite bird. It's all over in Mumbai also. I don't know from where you are, but
yeah,
this is called as a white-throated kingfisher. Okay.
yes.
So again, a kingfisher. The beak is like a, you can see it's very long and pointed, and they are called as a kingfishers because that long beak really helps them in catching big fish from the pond. And it's beautifully clicked, Prachi.
Thank you so much.
Nice to
This
see
is
you.
from Pune. I'm
Yeah.
from Pune. This is from my area itself. I'm blessed to have an area where there are several species of birds, some at least 30 species, you can say, of birds.
Good, 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 good. Yeah, but
Thank you.
I know Pune is also rich in birdie.
Thank you so much, Prachi and Sunil,
Vidya
and all
ma'am,
of.
Thanks. Thanks for selecting. Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to take some few questions before we move on to the next segment. A lot of you have raised your hand. Let's get to one. Venkatesh Ramanujam, if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question, I know you asked it early on in the session, or I can ask it for you. This question is fantail species available in southern India?
What's that?
Fantail species available in southern India?
Fantail, yeah, yeah, of course, of course, of course. Fantail is everywhere, right from Uttarakhand to south.
And we have a question from Neha T. Her thing is she sees an Indian pond heron from her window, and it has 3 babies. Can you please share some fun facts about this bird, Indian pond heron?
Pond heron is, of course, a lovely bird. Basically, they are like a waders, and normally they'll be all the time around the ponds, and it's a very common bird. You won't find it in very cold weather, but otherwise you will find it everywhere. Of course, near the water body, and it's a beautiful bird. When it flies, oh, it looks really awesome. And I also see. I have so many birds in my kitty. I can't show all the birds. You all will have more sessions to show some more birds from my kitty. Okay, we can
Absolutely.
take one waders also, like one session of only waders.
Thank you, Vidyaji, for that. We have a couple more questions we'll take. Which place to capture dwarf kingfisher to shoot? Right?
Dwarf kingfisher, actually, in you get this kingfisher, dwarf, oriental dwarf kingfisher. I believe you are talking about, referring to.
Yes.
You will find it in Jalgaon and Mumbai also. See, basically, they need that skin and the kind of fish food which they love. And there are people who are expert in making the environment which suits breeding of this kingfisher. So there are people who have really taken efforts. So we can see it in Mumbai also, and we can see it in around Mumbai also. But yes, there has to be someone who is trying to take care of their nesting requirements.
to add to Vidya ma'am here, you can, Ratnagiri is a beautiful, Chiplun is a beautiful place
Yeah.
where oriental dwarf kingfishers are sighted, and especially during monsoons. And not so far in Bombay, Karnala. And we can definitely share a few, contacts where you can get in touch and try to book a spot to go spot them if you like.
Yeah. What Rishabh said was absolutely right. You can this thing, but normally those who try to build, make the environment, now they say they are a bit secretive because otherwise
Right.
people, birders really they pour in, and that disturbs the habitat of the bird. So there has to be like a distancing, na? The this thing we are under nowadays lockdown. So you have to have the distance. Should not disturb the birds.
There's a question, Vidyaji. I think you like this question. The question is, ma'am, can you please, by Nishant Sharma, ma'am, can you please share the source of the poems captured with each bird?
It's an expression. It's not source something. It's an expression.
It is
It's a
written by
poetic expression.
it is written by Vidyaji herself. Is that
It is
correct?
no. Actually, I won't say it is written by me.
Okay.
Yes, I have helped it. I have one friend who really writes blogs, and she's very good in this kind of expressing such beauty, and she has helped me in coming out with such lovely poetic language.
Okay. Thank you, Vidyaji.
So the
Vidyaji, sorry.
credit doesn't go to me only. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
really humble of you. There are other questions. We'll take it forward in the next section because we have it in the presentation and Vidyaji has already been prepared for basically the books and cameras and the other stuff. So we'll take it then. For now, let's continue. Rishabh, quickly, if I know time is pressing.
Yeah, so because of little short of time, let's just rush through these birds which are commonly seen here, and probably just hear their sound quickly. That's an India silverbill. You will see usually a flock of them foraging on grounds, especially at hanging garden at early hours. Oh, that's a common kingfisher, little blue and a very beautiful bird you will see near water bodies. And the beauty of them is you will see them sitting motionless, trying to eye on the catch. Right, and you're there. That's scaly-breasted munia, a very active bird during morning hours. And if you see, it's so camouflage, it's so difficult to spot them. But once you see them, it's a beauty. Oh, that's a green bee eater. Again, it just shows shades of different greens. And if you see, Vidya ma'am has also captured a roosting image in dark near Big One, which is a beautiful sight during winters to bird watch right around Bombay, Pune, not very far. Wire-tailed swallows. Again, a very quick bird. Before you can see them, they disappear. So, well, it's a beautiful how they're perched and looking right into the camera. Beautiful image. Let's hear them. Western marsh harrier. Again, the beauty of this bird is the talcons, which has been highlighted here, very sharp. And again, you can find them at Bandu pumping station. One of the border spot which has hotspot which has gone crazy with Bombaika birders. Nadal Shawla. Again, beautiful wader birds. You can see them in abundance at Big One Bird Sanctuary, at Bhandu Pumping Station, Lokhandwala Lake. Again, once the light hits their face, you see the glow in their eye and in their scales. It's unmatchable. Let's hear this sound. You know how Vidya ma'am has captured them in flight. It's quite a thing to get them in flight in their element. That's another beautiful bird. Pumping station. You can spot them if you go on a boat ride or Thane Flamingo Center. Black-winged stilt. The beauty of them is their long legs and so fragile, but very beautiful when it just hops around. Let's hear the sound. Oh, lesser flamingo. And well, I mean, what to say? Bombay has been taken over by these birds during the lockdown, and it's been in the news. Here, if you see, it says lesser because the pink hues are not very evident on their bill. The another image right here, you see that they are in their full glory, and there's an image in the image which their wings widespread open. Again, they are found in abundance at Big One, which is heaven for flamingos. So, come winter, you definitely have that place. It's one recommended. And in Bombay, Bhandup Pumping Station. There's some state birds Vidya ma'am would like to just quickly show.
Yeah, I had been
So we have
Uttarakhand to see this Himalayan monal. It was snowing all around, and I was also freezing really. It's a Saras crane from Uttar Pradesh, very loving pair. Then great Indian bustard from Rajasthan. Yellow-footed green pigeon is Maharashtra state bird. Then great hornbill is Kerala state bird, and yellow-throated bulbul is from Goa state bird. So I just wanted to share this image because I have gone to all these places and captured these birds. But within 1 hour, I can't show you 500 images. I have to limit it. Finally, people have some other work also to do.
But it's beautiful. In fact, you know, these birds, just to add to it, their behavior, if you notice their behavior as humans, we have so much to learn from them. Like Saras crane, they mate for life, they live and they die together. I mean, it's commendable. It's something we humans can just like imbibe. And for a fact, even great hornbills, and as ma'am showed in the earlier slide, the Indian grey hornbills, they take care of each other as a couple like no other, could. It's a beautiful sight to watch them. But that's a little snippet of the gear she uses.
Don't get scared. You can just start with your maybe even the bridge camera and start looking for the bird, start getting involved in the birding, and then slowly you can buy this. Even I didn't buy this in the first year. Slowly you have to start adding so that you get real good sharp images of the bird, that too in the portrait mode. And my Facebook is full of my people, my followers. They would love to see only portrait images.
Just to add,
yes. Vidyaji, there was a question earlier. I thought we'll keep it for this part. Is by Nitya Gyanani. Do you have any recommendations for or camera for new birders? Anything to keep in mind while looking for a camera?
See, there is always debate going on whether Nikon is better or Canon is better. But I will say all the cameras are good. Finally, the person behind camera is more important. That really plays a major role.
Vidya ma'am, can I add something here? Just to...
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Rushabh.
So, Thank you. Well, these cameras, and not a DSLR, there are bridge cameras, which is between that 10x, 50x zoom, digital zoom. So if you want to document these birds, those are really recommended. And if you want to go into amateur format cameras, Canon has 1200D, Nikon has D5300. Vidya ma'am can definitely help us in recommending this later also by sharing her. But nevertheless, yeah, this is a little quick snippet of a gear here. Moving ahead.
I just wanted to give you the reference book list. So whoever wants to really take up birding seriously as a passion, definitely you will come across these books and you would love to see the images, study about the birds. It gives all the details.
Vidyaji, there were questions here by Anuradha Arora and Hema K. Is which book for to know about information of birds? I know that you mentioned here, but I heard this through a grapevine that I think you are in the process of writing a book yourself about the information on birds. Is that correct?
So in some days, there will be only one website under which you will see all the details of the birds, like the locations you get the birds, then their habitat, then their habits, then their breeding, their description, their call, voice call, and then mythological connection and everything under the sun. You will get it under one site. I'm still in dilemma whether to have a website of a book or maybe have a print media book. I'm yet to decide on that, but I'm collecting the information. Of course, birds only which have clicked by me. I don't want to touch all the birds, any other, someone else's clicked birds. I don't want to claim any of this thing. I'll be writing, but they are also around 400 birds. I'll be giving entire everything. For last 2 to 3 years, we have been studying on this. Myself and my friend, we have gone beyond birding and started learning about the birds. And that is also equally fascinating.
Thank you, Vidyaji. I'm excited to get a hold of that book, and I'm sure the next presentation and session we have, it will be on #1 in the reference book section when we do the session again. So excited to see that. Thank you, Vidyaji, for this really amazing information.
Currently, long way to go, but
of course, very long way. We've got a lot of thank yous to you. I'll share the messages with you. They all are very appreciative of your information, your presentation, the kindness in which you spoke, and of course your knowledge. So thank you once again.
Karan, 1 minute, please.
Yes, please. Of course.
Can we ask Pushkar, my son, to say something?
Of course.
He's very eager to say something. If you allow him to say.
Of course, this is of course, Vidyaji. Please, Pushkarji, if you can say a few words, we would love to hear what you have to say.
Nahi? Okay. If Hemant Bishnoi ji there, just say check.
Yes, Hemant Bishnoi ji is there.
Okay.
Hemant ji.
Yeah, I'm there.
Do you want to say something, sir?
Yeah, so one is that very helpful, very good session and very educational session.
Thank you, Hemant ji.
Yeah, so we would like to have more such sessions, and if it can be a regular feature and we can get this information somewhere wherein we can get a schedule of such calls. And also I feel that a specific question towards birding and how to handle your camera gear, or for that matter, what has to be done towards understanding the bird better, or how to have a bird photograph on a better perch in the natural environment. I think these are the things which we would learn from you more in future. That is my submission.
Oh, it will be my pleasure, sir.
I appreciate your words, Hemantji. We would love to collaborate with you and get this information out there for our fellow birders. That was the idea today, was to get more people involved into birding, appreciate the beauty through Vidyaji's images, and sort of get into the art of birding, and of course further it with the specifics like you mentioned of how to take it on a perch in a natural environment and all the other things mentioned. So thank you for your inputs, Hemantji, Vidyaji, of course, Shobha Karnikji. You were really helpful with setting this whole thing up and the presentation. We couldn't have done it without you. And of course, Rishabh, my partner in crime. So thanks a lot, man. Yes, so we would love your feedback, everyone, my fellow birders. This is for all of you who attended and stayed till the end. I know we've gone over the 1 hour limit. We'd like to have your feedback. We'll be sending out an email. Please give us your honest feedback for what content you want, what other sessions you want. Like Hemantji said and Vidyaji said, this is just the beginning. So we have a lot more sessions planned. So let us know your feedback, what you like to learn, and we'll definitely incorporate a session for you all. And yeah, we apart from the birding, we as Enlightened Sapiens, we have many other sessions related to tomorrow. We have a de-stress and art session at 5 p.m. On the 20th, we have a one-of-a-kind session where we are hosting a virtual campfire for people who love the mountains and nature with Maggie and garam chai. So it's different things, photography and art and origami and the other sessions. So please do join. It's all free. You can go to the website and link. And of course, we love all the pictures of birds that you'll take, Rushabh. So if you can go to the next slide and you can tag us with you can email us all your pictures. I know a lot of you wanted to send pictures. You can send them. Vidya ji will definitely help in identifying them, interacting with them. She is on her Instagram handle, very active on Facebook and Instagram. So you can reach out to us at info and we'll be redirected to her, or on our Instagram, as well as tag us with Enlightened Sapiens so that we can share your images with the world. So thank you once again, everyone, and looking forward to doing this very, very, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Vidya ji. Bye-bye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Looking forward for the next session of yours.
So nice
Lovely
of you to say this.
Lovely to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll sign
Thank
out
you very
and
much.
see you tomorrow.
Vidya ji, bye. Very nice listening to you.
Oh, thank you so much. My honor.
Yeah, Karan, good session. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all, really.
We had a great time. Only we didn't get to see Pushkar.
Yeah, I know he was there. He had really come.
Next time.
He had joined really. I don't know what happened. Maybe some. Yeah, maybe.
There's Shobha. I hear Shobha. Just show her face.
Yes. She has to be there wherever Vidya
Shobha,
Shobha.
show your face at least.
Vidya Shobha, fantastic combination at work. बहुत बढ़िया.
Karan, I heard the number of likes you've got. Congrats on that.
Of course, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of good work, but really, really excited. Today's session was really, really fun.
Thank you,
Honestly,
Simaji.
Great. Absolutely. Chalo.
Amazing, Vidya. I enjoyed thoroughly.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy you joined.
We'll join more often.
Of course. Sure. I'm also eager to now meet all people.
Yeah.
okay, all right. I'm going to end the session, everyone.
Please.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Karan and Rushabh.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.